hovers over warped zinc rooftops as Ojodu bursts out of a smoky beer parlor, adrenaline surging. Small Chopper sprints beside him, both dodging neon-lit puddles, glancing back at flashing headlights splitting the fog-drenched night. Emeka Wire clutches a battered school bag and races down a littered alley, feet pounding through puddles scattered with torn lottery slips. Behind him, two shadowy figures on roaring Okadas weave through overturned market tables. Oyodu slams through a curtain of hanging laundry in a narrow corridor, droplets spraying from the wet fabric. Small Chopper follows, tossing a glass bottle that shatters, slowing the distant bikers with a burst of startled shouts. The Okada riding vultures tear around the corner, scattering a crowd near a smoky buka. Market women clutch their wares, cussing and ducking as the rivals swerve through plastic chairs and billowing smoke. Emeka Wire leaps onto the roof of a parked dancer bus, scrambling up with practiced agility. He surveys the chaos below, then vaults to the next rooftop, barely missing a tangled clothesline. Oyodu flashes a homemade pistol from beneath his jersey, firing skyward. The crack echoes through the market, sending everyone diving for cover. Small Chopper weaves through toppled plantain crates, the way momentarily clear. A buzzing drone, red lights blinking, hovers above the street, its camera lens whirring. Emeka Wire ducks beneath a web of power lines, using a tangle as cover before sliding down a corrugated roof into a smoky video game shack. Inside, Emeka Wire hides behind crates of soft drinks stacked to the ceiling. The drone hovers outside, its sensors scanning, but it slips out the back just as the red eye swings away. Ojodu and Small Chopper dash down a footpath along a stagnant, oil-sheen canal. Their reflection ripples beside them as a rival biker accelerates, trying to cut them off. Ojodu hurls a chunk of concrete, knocking the biker sideways. On the dense rooftops, Emeka Wire darts between satellite dishes and drying clothes. He skids, nearly tumbling, but regains balance and leaps to the next shack as a bullet cracks past him. Small Chopper grins, pulling a crude EMP device from his pocket. He hauls it at the drone, sparks flying as the machine crashes into a pile of empty beer bottles below. Ojodu and Small Chopper slide down a muddy embankment, landing behind a makeshift zinc fence. Breathing hard, they scan the alleys as distant sirens wail, blue and red lights flickering through the slum shadows. Emeka Wire pauses in a deserted street, breath ragged. He stares at a fading poster of Pastor John preaching, "You can rise." He hesitates, hope flickering amid the chaos of approaching gunfire. A battered police truck screeches into the alley. Officers lean out, firing wildly. Oyodu yanks Small Chopper into a shack, bullets tearing through tin, splinters flying. Emeka Wire slips into the dimly lit church, ducking under ragged banners. Flickering candles cast uncertain light. Pastor John stands at the altar, eyeing Emeka with concern and recognition. Small Chopper, trapped at the edge of a rooftop, faces down rival gang members. He brandishes a broken bottle defensively as Ojodu signals from below, urging him to leap. Emeka Wire, breathless and desperate, kneels before Pastor John, who places a calming hand on his shoulder. Through the open doorway, chaos blazes, but inside, the church is an oasis of stillness. Ojodu catches Small Chopper as he jumps from the roof, both tumbling into a pile of cardboard boxes. They scramble up, battered but determined, and vanish into a narrow alley. Emeka Wire listens as Pastor John gestures to the battered school bag, then to the altar. Emeka's eyes widen with realization, and he nods, clutching the bag tighter. Outside, the police storm the market, scattering vendors and bystanders. Small Chopper and Ojodu slip unseen through the stampede, blending into the frantic crowd. Emeka Wire, steeled by Pastor John's quiet strength, steps out of the church's side door, sticking to the shadows as patrols sweep the area. Ojodu and Small Chopper regroup in a hidden courtyard, bruised but alive. They scan the rooftops, searching for any sign of Emeka Wire. Emeka Wire navigates a maze of alleys, ducking behind stacks of tires as the vultures' Okadas roar past, searching for him and his precious cargo. Ojodu spots Emeka atop a distant roof, signaling with a wave. Small Chopper distracts a prowling vulture by knocking over a pile of scrap metal. The gang member chases the noise, clearing Emeka's path. Emeka Wire sprints across a narrow plank bridge over the canal, almost losing his footing, but pushing forward as the sun begins to rise. Ojodu and Emeka meet at a graffiti-marked wall, exchanging a quick, silent plan. Small Chopper covers their escape by tossing a smoke bomb, cloaking their retreat in swirling mist. The trio slips through a hidden gate behind the church, emerging into the waking city as vendors begin to set up their stalls, unaware of the night's chaos. Ojodu hands Emeka a new change of clothes and a battered cap. Emeka tucks the school bag beneath his arm, determined and hopeful. As the first rays of sunlight pierce the haze, Emeka, Ojodu, and Small Chopper walk down the bustling street together. Emeka looks back at the church, then forward, ready for a new beginning. Ojodu the Scar, the street king with the homemade pistol, was seen kneeling at Pastor John's altar. That Small Chopper, the wild-eyed hustler with a cigarette always dangling from his lips, now led a small band of barefoot kids in prayer under the bridge, where gamblers used to gather at Boundary, and at the center of it all, Emeka Wire, the boy who ran faster than death itself, now stood steady in the church doorway every evening, his voice rising above the market noise, calling out names only the streets remembered. If he can save me, he can save you. They gathered at first to mock him, the old hustlers, the pickpockets, the down-for-toots and petty thieves. But the slum is a place where pain recognizes pain, and soon jeers turned to tears. Ojodu's repentance came heavy. One night, long after the markets closed, he walked into the tiny church, his pistol wrapped in a bloodied rag. Emeka met him at the door. No fear, no hate, only a hand stretched out. "I thought you were lost," Emeka whispered. "I was," Ojodu replied, voice breaking. He laid the weapon at the altar like an offering, and Pastor John, with tears in his lined eyes, welcomed him home. Small Chopper came last, bruised, battered, and with no more smoke to hide behind. He stumbled into the service one rain-soaked night and fell to his knees without a word. "Save me," was all he said. In time, the three of them, the preacher, the boy, and the two former gangsters, became known as the Street Shepherds. They walked the alleys, preaching hope where fear used to reign. They tore down the idols of blood money and revenge and raised up small safe houses, food banks, and open-air gatherings. They didn't save everyone. AJ City still had its devils, but each soul pulled from the gutter was a victory. The same streets that once echoed with gunfire now rang with hymns. The same rooftops that once bore witness to bloodshed now watched over candlelight vigils. And Emeka Wire, he stayed, not as a ghost, not as a boy running from his past, but as a man chasing souls. You can rise. The faded words on the old poster now lit up every wall, every corner of Ajegunle, because sometimes the worst of us carry the brightest light. And in a slum like Aj City, even one flicker can chase the darkness. Ajegunle lives on, and so do they, reborn, redeemed, relentless in grace.